Hey guys, welcome back to another Gaming Memories video. Here we are taking a look at quite a unique arcade style racer by the name of Kattobi tune that was released in 1998 for the PlayStation, and it was exclusive to Japan only at that time. This game is very similar to a lot of other type of racing games that were released on the system at that point, but there is a lot of main differences, as this game focuses a lot more on the tuning car culture that was very popular in Japan in the mid to late 90s, early 2000s, where you have access to a lot of very popular and highly sought after JDM classic sports cars with the likes of the Nissan Silvia S14, EK9 Civic Type R, the Toyota Supra, Toyota MR2, even the FD Mazda RX-7, and even the Mazda MX-5, or Miata as it's known in different regions. But what's cool about this game is not only do you have access to the standard versions of the cars, you can also gain access to more highly modified versions of each of the cars as you progress through play. Or for the most part, you can gain access to some of these cars pretty much from the get-go when you go through the free play race mode. And graphically it's a decent enough title. Now it wouldn't be up to the same level with the likes of Gran Turismo and other racing games on the system, but this game definitely more than makes up for it with the content and the look and feel of the game, even down to the sound effects. As even with a lot of other racing games on the system, even when you compare it to Gran Turismo, the one thing that this game does have a direct advantage even over all of those main games is that the sound of the cars in this game are very authentic to their original counterparts, as also they are focused on tuned versions of the cars, but you can hear the overall sounds of each of the cars and their engines, even to the likes of the whistle of the turbos as the cars are going along. You can definitely get a direct feel for the sound of each engine in each car. And even with the likes of the different cars that you drive throughout the game, like I mentioned, like with all the different versions, like even the Nissan Skyline with the RB26 engine, you can really hear the roar of it when you're doing drag races, even to a point that when you're driving even a Mazda RX-7 you can get the sound of the rotary engine, which is very different and sounds very different to other mainstream engines that were developed for those cars at that time. So each car has its own unique characteristics, and you can really tell the difference in this game compared to other racing games, which is quite a cool feature, and that's definitely one of its best features in my opinion from having played it. The handling characteristics on each of the cars as well is also very good, and it is better than a lot of other racing games that are on the system, as it just feels very accurate and well put together, and the controls are very fluent and they're very responsive. And each of the cars in question look really good, but they also drive really well, but they also give you a competitive advantage throughout the races. So each race does present its own challenge, but if you're skilled enough at the game you can become a master of the tracks very quickly. So you can race in different types of championships, all on different variations of race tracks, each with their own unique quirks and obstacles and so forth to overcome, while racing against different opponents on the track to race through championships, like Grand Prix style mode, where you can accumulate points so that you can unlock more customization options and earn more points and currency so that you can further upgrade the cars that are available in the game. But you do have access to different game modes as well in this game. It has a lot of other different type of game modes that you normally don't get in other racing games. So you do have access to your Grand Prix mode, you have time trials, but you also have access to a drag racing mode also, where you can race along stretches to try and gain first place, where you do have to manage your timing on gear changes and so forth to be able to gain the utmost advantage in each race. But the game also does utilise fairly decent drift mechanics as well. Now it doesn't take much to put a car into a drift when you're going around the corner, but after a bit of practice you can maintain drifts fairly easily, and it works quite well when you consider other racing games on the system that do use these mechanics. This game does do it quite well for the most part, so this game has a lot to offer for game gaming enthusiasts and racing enthusiasts, because it has a load of different game modes, it has unique features, it has decent graphics, it has some of the best selection of cars that you can find that are really popular, especially within Japan, all the Japanese icons. But not only that, it has, out of all the racing games mainly that I've played on the system, it definitely has the most authentic sound effects and engine sounds of any of the cars in any game that I've played nearly on the PlayStation 1. So this is definitely, in my opinion, a hidden gem, and I do recommend that if you are into looking for unique style racing games, this is definitely a pick of the bunch. Now, it's not without its flaws. Like every game out there, it does have its unique flaws, but that doesn't take away from the overall experience. This is, in my opinion, one of the best racers on the system, and for good reason, because it has all of the unique elements that you would want in a racing game. Plus, if you love listening to the sounds of the engines, like I mentioned, which is definitely one of its best characteristics, you'll be right at home here, because each engine sounds specific to the unique car. Like even with the Supra, the Skyline, as I mentioned, the sound of the rotary engine on the Mazda RX-7, even to the point of the VTEC engine on the EK9 Civic Type R, they're all authentic to each vehicle in the game, which is something you really don't get in a lot of racing games. Even when you look at the likes of Gran Turismo, for as an amazing game as that is, I have done previous videos on the Gran Turismo series. I'll make sure to leave links down in the description so you can check them out. But even the sounds of the cars in those games didn't feel as authentic when you compare it to the likes of this game here. So this game is a hidden gem for that, even on its own, and is worth checking out. And I would love to know your thoughts on this game, if you have played it, or did you even know anything about it, and if so, what do you think of it? I'd love to hear your story, so be sure to share it down in the comments below, as this is a really good game in my opinion, and I would love to hear people's stories about it, because it is very enjoyable, especially if you're into cars and you love the likes of the tuning car culture. This is definitely one of the best games on the PS1 I think that you can possibly play. And if you have enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more of these type of videos where I do explore other classic racing games that were released in Japan only for the PlayStation, then be sure to leave a like on the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon to be updated when those videos are released. And also feel free to check out a lot of the other videos on the channel, where I do provide other gameplay videos and reviews of other types of racing games that were released not only just in Japan but in other regions also, where I share my thoughts and memories with everyone. And until next time, make sure to keep playing those classic games and enjoying them, and keep those gaming memories alive.